Hey, great Wednesday morning. It is a beautiful day in Brownsville, Texas, and just by looking at the weather, no one would believe, no one would believe that there was a big old storm yesterday, and we were all flooded. The weather is amazing. It's nice, sun's out, and it doesn't even feel that hot yet. But a big
What's up?
morning, but a big contrast from yesterday's weather. You live down southmost, Roman.
I do, but I'm trying to get this audio to work. Yeah, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Sounds good.
No, but I'm having trouble hearing you for
Is
some reason.
anybody else having trouble hearing me?
No, it just comes in one ear, not the other, for some reason. So, hey there.
In
Yeah.
one ear, out the other?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Goes in this ear, but it doesn't come out. So we're good. Anyway, hey, how you doing?
You might learn something then.
Probably not.
Oh, yes, yeah, a big contrast in weather. Yesterday, Southmost was flooded. Parecía un río.
Well, yeah, we had a tropical storm out in the Gulf, and we didn't really get that much rain, quite frankly. You know, it made rainy in Mexico along the coast because it kept churning and getting ready to, what you can call it, to get ready to explode and become a hurricane.
Well,
But it never came here, really.
there was a lot of rain. I found it all wet. Enough rain to flood this. But again, you don't need much to flood the streets of Brownsville.
Yeah, but hey, let's talk about selling a zoo. You know, all the money that's being spent on that. And remember, the hotel is not being built on Cummings, you know. That's what Helen Ramirez was finally had to explain to people. Because I don't think she even knew.
The hotel?
Yeah. And the thing is, when you look at the map, it's fairly clear that the hotel is going to be relatively small. And it's basically going to be from the street that touches Cummings to the Resaca on the back of Cummings.
That's impossible.
That's what the map says. That's what the little diagram says. I mean,
That's impossible, Roman. I mean, have you
I
been?
don't know how they're going to build. It's going to be a very narrow, small hotel, but that's where the hotel's going to be at. Just to avoid using Cummings property to build a hotel, but that's what they're going to do.
Have you been back there?
Yes, I have.
It's impossible.
That's what the map says. Look at it. You really should pull it up. I mean, it's amazing how they're going to do that.
It's impossible. It's not going to happen. The fact of the matter is that they've always had this plan for the hotel. It was always about the hotel. When I approached a couple of city commissioners on it, like they said, "Well, we all knew about the hotel. Then why didn't y'all say something?"
No, they don't want to talk about it because they're afraid that people are going to wise up to the fact that there's a hotel, and we don't want them to know. You really think that our friends that are well, they're not all of them are our friends, but your friends, your Erasmo friends, because they're all your friends, right? Their elected officials really care what we think? No, we're little people. We don't matter. All we matter for is votes.
Well, that's unfortunate because again, I was at the press conference where the mayor spoke, where the superintendent spoke, your friend Jessica Gonzalez spoke.
And none of them talked about the hotel.
No one mentioned the hotel.
No, because the hotel doesn't matter because the hotel technically is not part of the Cummings sale. So why should they talk about the hotel? That's their excuse, right? Yeah, because remember, because the Cummings sale, they're only talking about the Cummings property itself. That's why they can talk about it. They don't want to talk about the hotel. Now, and then when you bring up the hotel, it's like, what hotel are you talking about? No, the Cummings has nothing to do with it.
Now, the other thing is, if they were to do away with that little back street, and say from La Resaca all the way to the fence of Cummings,
front door open.
I mean, maybe, but even still, I don't see how that hotel would fit in that small piece of land.
I don't even know where you're going to park. Oh, that's right. They're going to have a parking garage.
And a parking garage. You think a parking garage is going to fit back there in that little space?
They're gonna find a way to do it. I mean, we're gonna have a bunch of Mexicans building it, right? And they're gonna build it. They're gonna, sí se puede. and they do it, and it's like they don't look as good. Hey, you pay, you get what you pay for,
The other thing
and we're allowed to say that because you're Mexican.
and maybe somebody out there is good at I don't know what you have to be to be
Go on,
good at it,
Teresa.
but isn't putting a hotel with all that weight, Roman, right next to a resaca is like undoable?
I don't know. I'm not. I'm much like our one of our justices is not a biologist. I'm not an architect or engineer.
Well, I'm talking about the land. Isn't it have to be like on firm land? I mean, wouldn't it be too squishy to put
I
a
I
whole
would assume so, but again, we're not the experts. They are.
ah, with that
The consultants are the experts. You know.
the consultants that we are paying for? With that, I mean, I would understand if it would like you could build a house next to a resaca. There's several homes with a house next to a resaca, but we're talking about a multi-level floor hotel. I mean, does anyone think that that's going to be a sturdy hotel? Right
I don't
there?
know. I mean, look at all the potholes we have on our streets. I mean, they don't exist in Brownsville, obviously. You know, you get a little car, a big 18 wheeler that goes on a street, and it doesn't cause sinkholes. It doesn't cause potholes. I mean, we have perfect streets. So obviously, we can build a hotel right next to Osaka, just like you say, Erasmo.
No, these are private investors. It's not going to be owned by the city of Brownsville.
We don't know about that. I mean, you didn't even know they were going to build on the street. And Osmo, you're
I,
spreading false information, fake news. You're no better than ABC last night.
I know for a fact who I know for a fact that it's privately owned. It's not
Oh,
city.
well, you know more things than some people do.
Let us have some nice. What? Okay. What if the Mexicans eat the ducks at the park? Yeah, they shouldn't do that.
The Haitians do that, Hector. Haitians, you didn't want the debate last night, which we will talk about. That is why you're here.
Yeah. You're correct, Mr. Castro. Always the plan. And excuse is the perfect word. And excuse is the perfect word, Mr. 100%. Always the plan. It's been in the works for a long time. I know it. A lot of other individuals that are like closer to the inside know it. It's just they never shared that information. It just got on where they want to build Cummings.
On the inside corner, you know where like Dean Porter Park is, and then there's that street between Dean Porter Park and Cummings, and it goes in the curve. It goes next to the Osaka. That's where they're going to build it. It's going to be this very tall, very narrow. I mean, they can do it in New York. Why can't we do it here in Brownsville?
It's not gonna
Because we're special. We're Brownsville. We can do anything.
better than New York.
I don't know about that.
It's crazy called ground. It's crazy called ground stabilization. It can be done.
You see, it can totally be done. You see, just like our potholes, they don't exist. We have the best ground ever.
It can be done. My question is it going to be more expensive for the city of Brownsville to make sure that that's it? But with that said,
It's not your money, Erasmo. It's their money. They don't care.
But Mark, you live close to Dean Porter Park. I know. I've known Mark for years. Do you think, Mark, that the land from the Resaca to the street is space enough for a hotel? And the answer is absolutely not. I mean, unless you're going to build like a one-room hotel going up, it's just not going to happen.
And it can totally be done. Have you never seen Despicable Me in his house? The Gru's house, it goes straight up. I mean, Erasmo, be imaginative, be creative. This is Brownsville. We can do anything. We're one city. Remember that. Never forget. Just like Erasmo always says, we're one city. We got to unite. Stop being negative. It can be done.
If there's a school, I'm sure they can build a hotel next to Osaka. The difference, Thomas, that a school is like flat or maybe 2 floors at the most. They're 1 floor. I understand that because there's a lot of houses out there. But a multi-floor building right next to Osaka, it just doesn't make sense. Remember, you're going to need, como quiera, like some space for you to drive into it, and like where the lobby is going to be at. It just doesn't fit. Have a great day, guys. A great day, Thomas. And planning and zoning there, maybe they all allow caliche parking lots.
Well, my favorite thing about how they're going to build this is that they're going to close Ringgold Park. I mean, not Ringgold Park. Sorry, I apologize. Ringgold Street.
That's
That's what
something.
they're gonna do.
That's something that I made mention a long, long time ago that they were going
So
to
that
do.
means that the only people who are gonna be able to use Dean Porter Park's park are gonna be the good people that live on the Palm Boulevard side, because you're gonna have to go all the way around to go to that park. It's almost like they're building their own city in our one city.
Maybe they deserve it. See,
Maybe we don't deserve these nice things. The only people who deserve these things are the people that live in Rio Viejo. By the way, is my audio okay or not really?
yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay, all right, making sure.
Getting rid of Dean Porter Park. Uh, Let me tell you that I would have figured that at that point it would have been more feasible just to use Dean Porter Park as well. I mean, you don't want a city eating up our
Are
parks.
you are you trying to kill off our thriving theater district? Are you nuts? Are you crazy? We spent all those millions of dollars in helping that wonderful drama place where
Oh,
people act.
I love Camille Playhouse.
So
I
you want to get rid of it?
I,
That's what you're going to do. That's what you're proposing this morning.
I don't
Where are we
want
going to have the holiday village that everybody from all over the valley comes to? And Osmo, what's wrong with you?
all over the world. I
All
do
over
not.
exactly the illegals. We take them, right? Don't we, to the holiday village?
I think when everybody leaves, they house. They leave those little houses.
And we told them, don't eat the reindeers. Whatever you do.
The reindeer. Stay away from my cats. And, you know, as long as it's generous money for them, exactamente, that's the problem.
Those little people, the gnomes or the elves, they're not to be eaten either. Do we have to explain that to the illegals? Do we have to explain that to the Haitians? Don't eat the elves.
Do not.
Whatever you do, don't eat the elves.
When people cross over with the CP1 or cross illegally, someone's got to be out there giving them a pamphlet. Do not eat our pets.
What about the ducks and the resaca? Are they allowed to eat those?
Oh, my cats destroyed a duck yesterday.
Shh! I had no idea. Well, you've been in Cuba and the Caribbean too long, much like the Haitians. You become a Haitian. Do the Cubans do that? No,
What? Eat cats and dogs?
I don't know. I'm just wondering because they don't do that. Only Haitians.
I think only
Allegedly.
the lipstick on the pig makes no difference. It's still a pig. Conflicts of interest are blamed. The actual building will be on a minuscule strip of city owned. Okay, impossible. Good morning, Good morning. If they can build multi-story hotels on sand like at the island, they can build anything on natural ground. Spacing, on the other hand, is a different issue. Well, that's my question. I mean, again, I'm not one of those people that does that. I just pretend to be. I don't even know what those people are called. But an engineer maybe. But I don't. Not an
And
engineer,
architects.
but I pretend to be. It just doesn't make any sense in regards to the space that they said that they're going to build it on. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, Can we go back to one of the comments like above? I think it was not Mark, the other one, the other guy.
Thomas.
I think so. Yeah. Migrants are eating dog. Okay, I thought it was geese. I thought it's not ducks. It's dogs too. They're eating dogs. I didn't know that we had Vietnamese crossing illegally. Oh, is that racist?
Yeah, very racist.
Why?
But
Dog is. I mean, don't we eat dog? And if we go to like Mexico and eat our tacos, aren't they dog meat? No. Or is that racist too?
The 80% of overweight Americans do not touch my cats.
All right, I think I think we've ran over the talking of a hotel. Let's talk about the debate.
The debate. Let me tell you, it did not go that well for Trump.
No,
Did not. And it's kind of crazy because my sister put up a post like, "I'm thinking of you." Like I said, like, no, I mean, Trump got slammed last night, and you know he fell for the little shots that were going to get him unhinged, and then at points started talking nonsense. He shouldn't have taken the bait, but he took the bait. And let me tell you, whoever prepared Kamala Harris for that debate should get a raise, because let me tell you, she was on point in regards to the presentation. I mean, I don't believe 95% of what she promised that she was going to do. It's impossible, especially after these 3.5 years of doing nothing and putting us in this place to begin with. But with that said, the delivery is point on. And did she beat Trump last night in the debate? No doubt.
Well, I was with some friends watching the debate, and obviously I'm voting for Trump, and I know Erasmo, you're voting for Trump, regardless of what was going to happen in the debate.
I know.
But the debate isn't for me. It's not for you, Erasmo. It's not for all the rabid Republicans out there that like us. That well, I'm not. Well, I'm not a rabid Republican. I'm just a Republican. But they're over there like Trump can do no wrong. You have to understand that certain Republicans, a lot of segment of Republicans, believe that Trump can do no wrong. He is great. He is wonderful. And then they get mad. Kamala's not answering the question. Come on. I mean, my feed has been filled with Kamala had the question before the debate. No, she didn't. She didn't have the debate. And even if she did, it doesn't matter because every single question that was asked, we should have known that Trump should have known they're going to be asked. They're going to ask you about January 6th because they know that divisive drives you crazy. They're going to ask you about the election because they care about the election. Ordinary Americans don't care about the election in 2020. They don't care about January 6th. The only people that care about it are the unhinged people that run our media, certain Democrats, and Trump.
Yep.
Trump doesn't know how to answer that question. I mean, I thought he had already answered the question when he said he lost by a whisker last week, and now he didn't lose by a whisker. Like, are you? I care about our country. I'm sure Trump does, but last night I don't think Trump showed he cared about our country because he only cared about himself, as opposed to thinking, you know what, I'm not going to take that bait. I'm going to be happy Trump the entire night, and I'm going to drive her crazy. Instead, he was yelling at the TV. He was angry. Like the independents that were watching that debate, they didn't learn anything. All they learned was same old Trump. And you know who I blame? I blame our Republican primary voters who don't see that, who don't think like that, who only think that Trump is great, Trump is wonderful. And they think I'm not saying that he isn't wonderful. I'm just saying he's a crappy debater and he was able to beat an old man in June. And that debate never should have happened. But you know who proved it? Him and his stupid staff, his campaign staff. Now, I don't want to blame the staff for his performance last night because this is the same performance he made 4 years ago. 4 years ago, the first debate against Joe Biden. Same thing.
And I will say it. Trump is not wonderful, but would he be better for Kamala? 100%. There's no
100%.
doubt. It will be a disaster if Kamala gets elected as president of the United States. A disaster, folks. I mean, to the point that the measure that we have never seen in this country, a disaster. It's unfortunate. Am I going to vote for Trump in November? You better believe it, without a doubt, because these folks. Actually, I was having that debate with JC this morning. Let me go tell you something. The lady was just bicker at him.
I didn't see the bickering. I saw her looking somewhat attractive.
She looked straight at the people and said, "This is what I'm going to do for you." I didn't believe a word she said.
Didn't believe it.
But it fed her masses. Now, we cannot be, as Roman says, those blinded people like, no, Trump is perfect. Trump is perfect. He's great. He's Jesus Christ. He's the savior of the world. Can't be ignorant, folks. We can't be ignorant. We can't go out and say things that are not true, because then we become that which we're trying to fight. We become them. Because let me tell you, again, Kamala Harris is the same individual that told us that Joe Biden was sane, was mentally fit, sharp as a whip to be president of the United States. It was a bold-faced lie. So they cover up and they hide everything, which is fine. Unfortunately for the Republicans, Trump took the bait. He took the
100%
and took hook, line, and sinker and went down with it. Let me tell you, and it's very, very true. He became unhinged right after. And again, one of the things that I noticed was that it did seem at a certain point to be 3 against 1, because although the questions to Kamala were like spot on, and then going back into in regards to the fracking, like her flip flopping on it. I mean, the guy
There
David.
was one question about the flip flopping, but okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Dave Muir, but they came back with a follow up, Roman, and they said, well, wait a minute, just to make sure. And I appreciated that. I like David Muir.
Yeah.
He's
Why? Because he looks good and can read a teleprompter. He's a better looking Ron Burgundy, basically.
I don't think he looks good, but
A lot of people do.
that's their opinion. But with that said, I think that again, I think it was 3 against 1 because they sort of went at Trump and like try to debate Trump themselves with the dog and cat issue. With the dog and cat issue, let me tell you, is that I've never heard of that. I never heard of the illegals coming over and stealing the pets and eating them. I'm not saying it couldn't happen. I mean, I think that they'd be more inclined to eat dogs than cats. I'm not saying it didn't happen, or an isolated case maybe here or there. It could have happened. Not saying it didn't happen. It wasn't something to bring up at a debate where then Muir came back and said, yeah, that was just disproven in regards to the dogs and cats.
But that happened. And people are upset. The moderators were mean. They were correcting Trump. This happened in 2012. Candy Crowley, don't y'all remember when she did that to Mitt Romney and ruined his debate and basically sunk his campaign when she did that? But at this point, we should expect it. We should expect that those moderators, quote unquote moderators, are going to not correct him. They have to.
Yeah, I agree with
it.
That.
It was frustrating, but
I agree with that. I agree with that. Like, I sort of felt that they were coming in at 3 against 1, and again, it was expected. And again, Trump should have been ready for that because he came into the enemy territory because the news media is going to say that, again, they covered up for Biden all this time. They covered up for Hillary. They are going to cover up for Kamala. They say that Kamala is the only savior for this country. I mean, it was expected. I expected it. I just don't know why.
Do you remember 4 years ago? Do you remember the first debate 4 years ago with Joe Biden and how everybody started blaming Krispy Kreme, the former governor of New Jersey, because he was the one that's preparing him? Who was the one that was preparing him for this debate? I mean, I was upset at Krispy Kreme. I thought it was his fault.
Krispy Kreme.
But it wasn't just his fault because this is the same Trump that appeared 4 years ago in the first debate. So are you going to see people get mad at Tulsi Gabbard, who I think is hot, and I think she's awesome, but she was the one that was preparing him, right? She was pretending to be Kamala and their supposed pre-debate prep.
Yeah, again,
let's blame her. No one's going to blame her. No one's going to blame Trump for his ineptitude last night, and he was. And I know the Republicans get mad. You hate Trump, Roman. It's like, no, I don't hate Trump. I hate the fact that he fell into those traps that he should have been prepared for, and he wasn't. So it's either blame his staff, which I'm not going to because this is the same crap that happened 4 years ago, or start blaming the man who was up there last night and making a fool of himself, looking angry. Now, he was yelling. He was probably yelling louder than I am.
Yeah, he started off well, and I said, like, oh, finally.
Really? You thought he started off well?
Started off well by focusing on the camera and attempting to.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I said, that's all you have to do. You don't have to do these hand signs. You don't have to go into your yelling. You don't have to go into these exploded numbers, invented numbers. You don't have to do that because you're not addressing Republicans. When he really lost it, and again, after that, it was all gone. When she went out there and said that, your people leave your what are they called? They leave your assemblies, not assemblies, rallies. They leave.
Oh yeah. That she knew that was going to piss him off. And it was like, look, you know what? Let's talk about that as opposed to answering the question. Let's talk about just conspiracy theory. They're bringing in people and they're busting them and they're leaving. And I'm like, that's what bothered you, not our country, and that's what independent voters are going to see.
After that, it was gone. It was over. After that, it was completely over. Even I honestly thought that he could even come back from the dog and cat thing. He'll probably come back from it. But when it's like it was crazy because like she knew or her handlers knew that once they got him a little bit unhinged, all she had to do was do the sucker punch and say, "Your rally suck. People are bored. They're falling asleep.
Yeah, I want you to watch them because they're boring and yeah.
They're leaving." And that,
How dare you say that about my rallies?
oh yeah, my rallies
No
are
one leaves early.
they're great. They're great. They're
You know
most-
what he could have done? He could have brought up the fact that people don't leave my rallies. That I mean, but you know what? Let's talk about the rally that happened where I was. They attempted to assassinate me and they killed one of our rally goers. Let's talk about that. But he couldn't do that in that moment. He had to talk about no, they're busting him in and they're leaving. Come on, man.
yeah. After that, Trump was unwatchable.
But can we talk about the fact that 16 minutes into the debate, 15 minutes into the debate, the question that comes up is abortion? Because it was brought up about the commie moderator from ABC News having to bring up abortion, and it gave why is that really worthy of talking within the first 15 minutes? Our country's being invaded. We have a horrible economy. People can't buy their own food. Buy food. They're choosing between eating food, their pills, and being able to pay their rent.
And
I mean, the rent's too high. But let's talk about 15 minutes into the debate. Let's talk about abortion because it's going to hurt Trump. Because the only thing that Kamala Harris has, the only thing that she has going for her is abortion. Because you have women out there who are terrified of being raped. Because there's a rape problem in this country, apparently, and they're afraid that they're going to get raped and they're going to have a baby with the raper, and they want to be able to kill that baby. But I'm.
They did talk about the economy. They had questions about the economy. They had questions about the situation of everyday folks. They did have all that.
No. But he said we're going to talk about let's not. Your friend David Muir. He was like, we're not going to talk about abortion right now. We'll get to back later. Yeah. Even though I think that's the number one issue in America right now is immigration and the border security, and second with the economy. But yet, let's talk about abortion. Who's like 10th most important thing in this economy?
Yeah.
I mean, this debate and this presidential election.
In the whole, they did go touch on every point. With that said, I mean, I think even Trump's answer in regards to, hey, we're just giving the power back to the states. I think it was I thought it was a good answer. Because that's exactly what he did. He just gave the rights to the states. Now, did Kamala touch on the heartstrings of, people have to go to another state in order to have an abortion? Well, again, my take on it is responsibility. Guys, if you do not want to get pregnant,
no, but Erasmo, the thing is that it seems as though she and the liberal Democrats that are obsessed about abortion, they're trying to terrify young women, believing that you go out there and you're going to get raped. It kind of reminds me a little bit about my friend Nurit, who I like. She did this mailer out in 2019 about how there's a bunch of sexual assaults, and I was like, what? It's an epidemic or something in South. Like, what? I was kind of shocked by that. And it's not. We're terrifying young women into believing that is happening. And does rape happen? Yes, rape happens.
Oh yeah,
it does. But but they want to say that if a rape happens, you're going to get pregnant, and then you're going to be stuck with that baby because of mean old evil Republican men like Donald Trump who believe this stuff. And we have to have an honest conversation. I believe. How many, as a married man, I know you're not married at Osmo, but as a married man, and you want to have a baby, you want to reproduce with your wife, it can take a while. It's not going to be automatic the first shot. I mean, for some people it is, but not everybody. It's hard to get pregnant. It's hard to have a baby. But these people honestly believe they're going to get raped that one time and they're going to have a baby, and we need to be able to have abort. And that's their discussion, unfortunately. But I don't know. I don't understand women. Apparently, I don't know how women voters think.
By closing the borders, will it help us?
Yes.
No doubt.
Yes.
Because having the borders open has halfway put us in this mess.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on the quid pro quo involving the board members. County, city, and district administration are all in cahoots in moving their personal corrupt, disgusting agenda. 100%, no doubt. She got all the questions beforehand. I don't.
Oh God, are you serious? Or just like a troll? Are you trolling us?
I mean, no. Well, look, El Gato Negro. I knew what questions were going to come up. I mean,
yeah.
Then everyone that has been following the presidential races in the past 12 years, we knew what questions were going to come up. I mean, it wasn't like, oh, it's a big old secret. I mean, just had to have an answer for them.
Yeah, and even if the question, even if you don't know what the questions are going to be asked, you can talk about what you want to talk about. And Trump did a very good job of doing that in the June debate. But I get back to that. Why did he have a June debate? There's something wrong with the Republican echo chamber or that's around him that thought it was a good idea to have the June debate. And now he does a great job in that debate, but he doesn't do a good job last night. What changed?
This is part of the problem, Hector. I mean, y'all go into this tailspin. Last night you saw the real Trump. Yes, a crazy person. No,
No.
no. This is where you lose it. You all lose it by going like he's Hitler, he's a Nazi. He's going to bring about World War III. He's for the Russians. He's for the Chinese. This is where y'all lose it because y'all go to the extreme of saying like he's Satan's son. Satan himself, and it's not true. I mean, do we see the real Trump last night? Yes. Do we come to expect it from Trump? Yes. And does Trump have a little issue with making things about himself at times? Yes. That's who Trump is. But again, I hate the way this country went the past 3.5 years, but we cannot afford as a country to have Kamala Harris as president of the United States.
Exactly. And I want everyone to understand that is what both of us are saying. We both are voting for Trump. We want you to vote for Trump. We believe Trump needs to win this election. We all believe it. Like me and you believe it, right, Erasmo? We believe that. But it doesn't mean that we can't criticize what happened last night. It doesn't mean that we can't be honest with everybody and say, you know what, that was a bad debate. But the debate, at the end of the day, debates shouldn't matter. It should, well, no. I think debates matter. But for the sake of our country, that debate shouldn't matter. But it will. It will matter to independent-minded voters. It'll matter to suburban women who don't really want to vote for Trump, that didn't vote for him in 2020 like they did in 2016. And you need to give them a reason to vote for him. And he doesn't understand that you're not going to win this debate by talking to the people that go to the rallies. The people that go to the rally are going to vote for you no matter what.
No matter what.
The people that go to debate watch parties where wearing their red and their MAGA hats, they're going to vote for you no matter what. It's not about those people. It's about independent-minded voters that are deciding this election.
Kamala had 4 years. How many times did she visit the border? But she went across the world to visit Ukraine. It's crazy.
100%.
100%. How did the moderators have time to call the Springfield city manager to get lawyer response? I have no credible evidence, but no time to fact check, find people. I agree 100%. Because, but let me tell you, what Trump said, and the response was true. I mean, it's like our city manager. Would you believe our city manager when she says that the hotel is not going to be on Cummings' property? Well, you'd be a fool to believe it. Do you believe the city saying that we're the 16th safest city in the country? No.
But you hear that nationally, you're going to believe it, right?
Exactly. Well, yeah, it goes at a national level. People are like, oh, well, yeah, it makes sense. I don't believe it. Do I believe anything and everything that comes out of our city manager's mouth? Probably, I believe maybe a 5%.
And really think about it. How many of these city managers are Republicans and how many of these city managers are Democrats? I mean, do we know? Like, would you venture to guess that Helen Ramirez, our city manager, is a Democrat or a Republican? What would you think? And do you think our city manager would know if dogs are being eaten or geese are eaten? Like, really, do you think that she would know that? Why would a city manager in Springfield City, Ohio, know that?
Well, she wouldn't want to make it public. I'll tell you that much.
Well, yeah, she wouldn't. Who would?
Exactamente. So when you go out there now, could it have happened? Yes, it could have happened because let me tell you, unlike in the United States, I hope, unlike the United States, there are some people out there from different places of the world that do eat dog. I don't know if people would be surprised to learn that, but there are a lot of people out there that do eat dog. Ahora, take into consideration a lot of stuff. A lot of folks don't understand that when you've got all these individuals crossing over, a lot of them, struggle to get a work permit. It's not that easy unless you came over with the CVP-1. If you came over with a CVP-1, which is, they open the gates and let you in. Then you get the opportunity to file for asylum and get a work permit like in two months. The individuals that crossed illegally in order to get a work permit, they have to go out there and file an asylum case, and then wait like 6 months in order to file for a work permit. With that said, what are people going to do for 6 months? And they can't get a job. They're going to go out there and do what a lot of these people have been doing: crime, going out there and stealing, taking, and maybe getting hungry enough that they're going to eat some dogs.
Getting hambre, a man's got to eat. A Haitian's got to eat.
Kamala communism busts the pace for the people that attend the hers. Those are facts. Again, I believe that 100%.
But it has no room to be talking about in a debate.
Yeah.
The people that are going hungry because they can't buy the food they normally buy, because just like the ad that Myra Flores has out there, the eggs, the beef, and even cilantro are too expensive. Remember, never forget. Never forget.
Trump
Even cilantro.
allowed his narcissism to get the best of him. Yes. He allowed Kamala to get under his skin. Yes. And he went off the rails. Yes. But is Kamala Harris a better choice for president than Trump?
No.
Trump? Absolutely not.
But you know what? We are now put in this position because Trump did this to us, because he did such a poor job, a terrible job last night, that now we have to defend him, because he wants other people to defend him. He can't defend himself for some reason. He can't debate a woman who we all know is a communist. She's a Marxist. And I don't know if you remember from the early on in debate, she was the one that was making facial expressions. She was the one that was using her hands all over the place, and she was the one that was making doing those things to make her look alive. It wasn't really Trump. And for some reason, once she got under her skin, it flipped. It really flipped. I felt anyway. And I want to say Ray's right about the whole idea of attacking constantly. She did a very good job. Her debate handlers trained her very, very well. And quite frankly, she looked very attractive last night. This didn't look like the same Kamala. They did her hair differently. They did something, different to make her look more appealing. She was a better version of Hillary Clinton. As for what Lalo just said, Democrats are obsessed with abortion. They are. I mean, that is what their plan is, because married men are voting overwhelmingly for Trump. Married women are voting overwhelmingly for Trump. Even single men are voting overwhelmingly for Trump. It's single women that are not. It is the one of those four categories, because everybody fits into one of those four categories pretty much.
That's not what I said, but he is crazy, period.
Oh, sorry.
He's not. And again, this is where y'all get unhinged, because y'all try to paint him as Hitler, as Satan, Satan's spawn, as a Nazi. Y'all go off the rail. He's not crazy. He's just, as Mark said, he's a narcissist. He loves himself.
And he is a narcissist. But again, we're not psychologists. We can't diagnose him, and you can't either. Just like you can't diagnose you can't even say what a woman is, because you're not a biologist. Only biologists can say what a woman is. You're not.
Because surely Supreme Court justices can't say what a woman is.
And they can't say it. We don't know what a woman is.
Trump pushes the scare tactic about the world ending if Kamala wins. He's already crying, and he has enough. Let me say this, guys. It's very simple. The world was dragged into war under Joe Biden's watch, because something that, again, countries out there do not fear the United States with a Democrat administration in charge. They don't. I mean, all this crap happened under the Joe Biden and the Kamala Harris administration, guys. The Ukraine situation, the Middle East mess, all this happened under the Democrat watch. That people get emboldened and think that America is weak. It was weak for 3.5 years under Joe Biden, who is a weak individual. And that was very much proven at the debate that he had. Very, very weak individual, whom the other Democrats lied about, who the news media lied about. And again, that's what should worry you, is Trump's crazy. That shouldn't worry you, because first of all, it's not true. Trump's a narcissist. Well, everybody knows that. That's a fact. But again,
no, we're not psychologists or psychiatrists to be able to diagnose him, Erasmo.
So you're saying the next president will be like Brazo, too much talk and nothing done?
No, if Kamala wins, it's going to be she's going to fix prices.
That's Kamala. Because everything that she mentioned last night, she's not going to do. It's not going to happen. They are going to end fracking. They are going to stop pipelines from going through the country. They're going to do all that because they have to appease to the left wing of the party. It's just going to happen, folks. So that's the individual. Do I believe anything she spurted out last night? No, absolutely not. Because if she hasn't stood for it or done it in these 3.5 years that she was vice president, what makes anyone think?
No, she's going to go back to her values of 2019, and all of a sudden, once 2020 happened, her values did change. Her positions did change.
I vote for the best candidate, but local politicians all care about the pockets. Only the school district to commissioners, they're all the same. I am not, and again, I hate this comment because I am not the same as all the other politicians out there. And I'm running for office. So I take that as.
Well, I'm not running for office, and I'm offended by that comment because I know people like myself who've run for office, and I know Erasmo who's run for office who's not interested in pocketing money for himself. That's offensive.
Money. So to say all of them here locally, that again is offensive. Local politicians are the worst. Again, offensive. Not all.
Well, she didn't say that. He didn't say all. He just said local politicians are the worst. I mean, I know plenty of local politicians are pretty bad.
Gamal took markup tips from La Diva. Makeup tips.
I don't even know why. I don't even know how to put up makeup. Loser.
Profile about these immigrants eating people's pets. Very sad but true. Again, like,
see, that's the problem with Ray. Like, you compliment him, and he's like, "I'm gonna attack him. I'm gonna get mad." Like, what, Ray? Are you jealous? He's still jealous, right?
I'm going to say that there's probably going to be some more and more fact checking out there in regards to and my concern is this going to throw him so off whack in these next couple of days that, Trump is going to dedicate maybe a whole rally just defending his stance on eating dogs and cats, which is a mistake, would be a mistake.
Is it, you think he brought it up specifically so that people could talk about that issue? And people are making, because right now people are making fun of him. They're doing memes about him, and he doesn't realize that. I wouldn't say that. Yes, she's a communist. She's a Marxist. She is. You want to know why? It's because the first thing governments do when they're becoming communist is fix grocery prices. And you know what happens when you fix grocery prices? You don't have food in your country.
She's a socialist without a doubt. Is she on the verge of going towards being communist and Marxist? 100%, no doubt. She is a socialist. Her ideas are socialist, Marxist.
Maybe I'm the only historian here, but that is what communist countries do. That is one of the very first steps that they do in order to fix. Hey guys, you can't afford the price of eggs, right? You can't afford it, but we're going to fix your prices. And you know what? That's why I'm kind of partially offended with the Myra ad that she has, like, when she said, I will fight for the valley and I will lower prices. How are you going to lower prices? You're going to fix prices like Kamala?
You're going to lower the cilantro.
Like, I mean, that's what they do. I mean, ever gone through a grocery store in Russia? I've never gone through. I was actually asked that question last night. Have you ever been to a grocery store in Russia? No, I've never been to Russia.
He himself has compared himself to Hitler. That is not true.
They have images of him and Republicans dressed as Hitler. I mean, they even had Bush when he was president. Not the first. Well, maybe the first one too.
Wait a minute. You bash local politicians about lying about. Yes, and I'll continue to bash anyone out there that is lining the pockets with the money of our community. I am not one of those.
Hector has you there.
I'm currently running for office. So to say
you're always running for local office, though.
True. So to say that all of them here are going, well, wait a minute, I'm running.
But he didn't say all of them.
Oh, shut up.
He just said local politicians. He wasn't specific.
I'm a politician from here, and I'm local. Although some people think I live in Austin.
And Austin isn't local?
He himself has compared himself to Hitler. No, not true. Ape gave over $100 million this year for candidates.
And your point is what?
Open secrets will let you know that APEC controls U.S. politicians.
I don't know about that.
Communist, really. Communism doesn't exist.
What? Are you serious? Lalo, you seriously do not believe that communism exists? Wow. Are you old enough to remember the Cold War?
As someone that has been to Cuba.
Oh, that's true. You've been to Cuba. That's right. We talked about it earlier. It's full circle.
As someone that has been to Cuba, let me tell you, it exists, but
Yeah.
and it's unfortunate.
Hey, are
Because
you going to go to the coffee with the superintendent tomorrow?
hell no.
Why not? You don't want to learn it from our superintendent so he can go to everybody and say, hook 'em, hook 'em, hook 'em. 'Cause that's what he likes to do. Hook 'em. I love my university, hook 'em. And I'm not saying I don't love UT Austin. That's where, some of my money's going right now. Enjoy. I'm sure you say that every single time somebody's writing your. Never mind. Not gonna go there, Ray.
I wish they would.
Pinky, Pinky. All right, what?
Hey, not the. Well, I'm letting you take it in every Saturday. Guys, I got work to do. Roman,
What? Wow. All
have a
right.
good day, Roman. Be good
You
to
too,
each
man. Talk to you. Bye.
other. Bye.